11 minutes after the hour on this Friday. Good morning to you. Back to the morning show. We have telephonically, we should be getting Jay and DL will be on. I know Jay has to be on and off with us. Got some other stuff going on this morning. But anyway, though, good morning to you. It's been kind of warm, but I guess winter is back a little bit. It's a little stronger than spring. So, however, it's all good. It's all good. It will not be tremendously cold today. I think it'll be a high of something like 55. This weekend, though, it's going to be raining. Again, early voting started on yesterday. So, if you get out there to the polls, go to the North Carolina Board of Elections and pull up your sample ballot. Go through that and talk to somebody. Do your own research, whatever you need to do. And, hey, look, come back. Go out, take a vote. Don't wait on it. You know what I mean? So I hope that that's where you are and we can get that going. But anyway, to either of the guys that are on there this morning, good morning. Okay, Jay. Or
good morning, Troy.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Yeah, the deal is there. Jay, he's probably not there yet. He's going to call us back. Jay, okay, yeah, right. He got some things going on. But anyway, I know who you going to be voting for sheriff of Mecklenburg County, brother.
Yeah, right.
That's a joke. So, yeah. Well, look, I'll talk about that in a minute, guys. But anyway, that's kind of interesting. Anyway, so again, weather-wise, we're going to be doing that. Also, this weekend, it's supposed to be raining pretty hard on Sunday. And that is so to the polls day. And also, it's going to be raining on that day. So, I don't know how that might impact that. But so that's so to the polls day. And I think they have some kind of something else going on, too. I forgot exactly where. Somebody text me that information. I know it's some kind of meeting that they have going on with regard to the candidates. But anyway, though, I hope your week's been going well, Brother DL.
Oh, everything's going fine. Like you said, this weather change up. Take advantage of it because it's going to drop again because winter runs through March the 20th, 21st.
Right. So let me bring our audience into what I was talking about earlier. So I think that was 2 days ago, DL, that the Charlotte police chief and the Mecklenburg County Sheriff came before the state legislature?
Yeah, it was good. They had, I'm sorry, the district attorney for that prosecutorial district, and I don't know if the city manager was with them, but they had a contingent of folks from Mecklenburg County.
Right. But here's an interesting piece, though, out of everything, that, crime has gone down nationally, they say, by something like over 20%. For whatever reasons.
Yeah, well, and they also had the Mayor Val Lyles with them, and I'm like, why just Val Lyles? Why not hold the whole council? She does not. Folks just get on these platforms and why the mayor ain't did this, why the mayor ain't did this. Not just Charlotte, all these cities. The mayor's only one vote. We understand that they run the council. But when it comes to crime, they all should be held responsible. If you're going to hold, the council responsible for crime, it should be the entire, not just the mayor.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be a little an imposition, though, would it, to try to have everybody to testify before some kind of hearing, though, you know what I mean? That probably wouldn't work, and the mayor is going to be the face of the city.
That is true, though, but for them, listen, I don't agree with calling Charlotte Mecklenburg up in. If you want to call somebody up there, call the sheriff about ICE detainers. If you're going to call Charlotte about crime, you need to be down in the eastern part of the state Columbus County, Robeson County, and there's some other counties where the crime rate is higher than Charlotte per capita. But that didn't get the headline because Trump didn't force their hand. That's where that stems from.
Well,
that was the dog and pony show.
Yeah, it's true. But still, at the end of the day, let's not insert presidential politics into it. Let's just talk about the crime.
Well, that's what's going.
Let's talk about the crime issue. I'm saying that, but still, ICE is a federal agency, and I'm saying is that if they're not going to cooperate with the federal government, then that's what's heightening or bringing in the mix that's causing people to have some controversy. Is that not true?
Well, then that was only the sheriff. Then that's the sheriff. You had the right person up there. You only needed one person in Raleigh, the sheriff.
Well, I understand, but again, they bought. Because it is Charlotte and Mecklenburg County is a little different. They have a metro law enforcement type environment there, whereas the other places don't have that. They have a distinct difference between the sheriff's office running things and the police department, but they call it Charlotte Mech there, don't they? Yeah, and so they bought the police chief she just came on the job. She left Raleigh, and Correct.
she's back in Charlotte. Now they were cordial with her, and they asked her about what issue she was having, and I listened to her. She needs more police officers. Well, your police officers would rather go to Huntersville, where Senator Tom Tillis is from, make a lot more starting money and don't have to deal with the stresses of Charlotte, and they have take-home cars. Not everybody in Charlotte has take-home cars. Her pitch to the General Assembly was the state gives every agency cars and let those guys have take-home cars. That's not going to happen. But, she wasn't up there for the ICE issue. The other folks was. And, of course, now I'm going to tell you, it was disappointing on how the council didn't have security. And you're right. As a metro, they should have had security on that light rail. Because some of these, some of these council folks, not just Charlotte Mecklenburg, they forget that your first priority is public safety. Not getting out here and creating all these police athletic leagues, not trying to find out why little Johnny is not in school and whatnot. That's not the function of the city council government. And they do need to be put back on the path because they did terrible. Not only was it terrible what happened to the lady, the aftermath, they weren't even talking about it down here. So, they deserve a little bit of what they got.
Sure. But not only that, though, if you travel around the country and you go to other states and you identify that you're from North Carolina, I know this, haven't done it myself, being on the West Coast in California, places like that. If you say you're from North Carolina, they only know of one city, and that's Charlotte. A lot of people.
Well, they must. Okay, well, we're not the smallest state in the union, and if somebody just through broad conversation, and you don't only know, if you can only think of, if you're in the military, you know about the military, you know about Fayetteville and Fort Bragg, and you know about Raleigh. Well, those people need to broaden their horizons if they only think of Charlotte when you think of North Carolina.
I'm talking about my experiences. I'm just saying that, a lot of people that, of course, it's regular for us to name off Chapel Hill, Durham, Raleigh, whatever, you know what I mean? But I'm telling you that my travels around the country, and I've done quite a bit of travel in the other states, and you mentioned that you're from North Carolina, and they know about Charlotte, and I can understand that because it's about the ball team. You know what I mean? We got two professional sports teams that have a Charlotte identity, whether the Panthers are technically in Charlotte or not. Still, that's what they associate themselves with. That's my point. I'm saying this Charlotte is a bigger image thing. And look, not only that, having worked in the General Assembly back in the late 90s and the early 2000s, there was an emphasis on Charlotte above all of the other metros in North Carolina.
It is
Well,
the
it's
financial capital of the
economic end,
state.
Good morning, Jay. Is that you, Jay?
Good morning. It is. I was just saying it's the financial capital of the state. But anyway, go on.
But look, it's a little bigger than that. Right now, even when it comes to African Americans, they're comparing Charlotte. They're saying that Charlotte is a bigger Afrocentric metro in a sense than Atlanta. Have you heard that?
I have not heard that because I know Atlanta is known for being, especially like Buckhead and certain areas of Atlanta, is very Afrocentric.
Correct. But I'm saying is that, but now, and you can do your research on that, but still, what I'm told now, and I was following that Charlotte is booming, and that a lot of people are leaving Atlanta, and they're landing in Charlotte because Charlotte is kind of all that.
It's also less expensive than Atlanta, I bet.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but I'm just
Is that
saying
possible?
is that
It's probably,
right.
yeah.
And I'm just stating facts now. I'm just stating facts. But look, the issue, you guys basically saw that. Look, now, I don't understand why the sheriff couldn't answer those questions. Since I was in probably grade school or whatever, I know the three branches of government. I thought it was it was very embarrassing to me that the sheriff of Mecklenburg County could not
Answer the three branches of government.
Right. He was not familiar with the three branches of government. It just, now, DL, look, both.
Is that a deal breaker to you guys? Is that a deal breaker if the sheriff, if that's one of the questions, which was, I listened to the video, does that sway you against him and say, hey, we need somebody else because of that? If crime is down, which I don't know all the data because I know they've had some issues, but again, the issue on the train, that's the police, that's not sheriff. The question is that a deal breaker for him? Just curious.
I don't know.
Well, Jay, and this is what I find fascinating because everybody from throughout the world, United States, gets to chime in on the Xana, the young lady from Ukraine. Everybody chimed in and not knowing how our government is set up. Charlotte, Mecklenburg is a metro. All the small municipalities, towns, have police departments in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, all the small towns. The sheriff's office does not do any patrol functions. If he's going to investigate any crime, he's going to be on county property, and that's it. Charlotte Mecklenburg patrols the whole county. He has nothing to do with crime. His biggest issue is, now he has been writing speeding tickets, which I'm baffled by that, but his issue is with ICE and the jail. The state's been in his behind because he's had jail deaths. And when he's come in and getting inspected by the state, he blames it because he's being black. This guy should not be sheriff. His bookkeeper was black. When he went on a trip, he was getting audited by the Charlotte Observer. And his bookkeeper, who happened to be an African-American woman, he told her to I'm going to say allegedly, it's alleged that he wanted her to make his paperwork right. She could not do what she wanted him to do. He fired her. Now, two chief deputies who are also black. Chief deputy can make six figures. Most of his chief deputies, they were retired from other law enforcement stations. You could just sit back and just let him do what he want to and collect money. These two brothers wouldn't do it. I don't even know who his chief deputy is. He's hard to work for. He degrades his staff. The chief deputy should be running the day-to-day operations of that whole entire department, and the sheriff should be overseeing. This guy does not need to be sheriff. Now, I'll give him a little bit. I can see him getting stumped by the three branches of government, but he should have knew him. Now, I sometimes I would probably got stumped.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm with you, DL, but look.
Well, what you just said, DL.
But look, hold on, Jay. Let me answer your question. You asked both of us a question. Let me answer it. For the sheriff to believe that out of the three branches of government, legislative, executive, and judicial, that the sheriff's office, because he asked them, he believes that the sheriff's office falls under the judicial. No, he doesn't need to be in the building, bro. Come on. It's just no way.
No.
I mean, if he believes that the sheriff's office falls under the judicial, and that's what he stated, because the guy gave the legislative guy gave him three choices, And he said, the last one, he said, well, name it. He said, judicial. I mean, no, he don't need to be in the building. No, he does not. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a deal breaker for me. I mean, that's just like going to my doctor and he says, so now you do know what an MD versus a DVM, right? I mean, that's a medical doctor versus a doctor of veterinary medicine. He said, well, I'm a DVM. Well, I'm not a puppy. I mean, come on, man. It just...
Right. Okay, that's well said. But can I just say one thing? I think what DL said, all of the issues that he's had as a supervisor or as the sheriff, to me, that's the deal breaker. Yeah, I mean, he should have known the three branches of government, and he was under executive. However, it's all the other stuff that tells me he's not the right guy.
They tried to get him removed. You know that, right? You know, there was an effort by, and joining in that was Representative Cunningham, who is, she's, of course, Stein is trying to get rid of her, but so did Cooper. We'll see how successful they are with that. But still, he had a member of the House of Representatives, along with other credible people in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, that tried to get a judge to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Did not know that. I did not know that history. It's not a good look for him, and apparently there's, I think, 3 other candidates that are competing with him in this primary, so it'll be very interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, for folks out there, the quickest way to understand about these 3 branches of government on the federal and state level, the executive is always going to be the ones who are elected in, such as the president. You can remember this. The president is the executive on the federal level. The legislature is always going to be Congress because they make the laws. They develop them. And then the judiciary are going to be people that are judges. they're the judiciary. Any of those attorneys, they're the judiciary. That's the easy way to remember it.
It is. It's a great, and thank you for that explanation. Very nice.
Yeah, but
Troy.
Uh-huh.
At the county level, I'm going to be honest with you, Troy. I was stumped, Troy. Me and you talked offline, and you had to correct me because it gets kind of confusing because you do have an executive level at the county and a city level.
Yeah, of
so
course.
Go ahead, Troy.
Right. The Board of Commissioners is the legislative level. It's the same thing with the city is a legislative level as the council because, they make ordinances. I mean, that's the lawmaking branch. You know what I mean? And then you have the executive branches. Anybody falls in the executive branch is going to be carrying out the laws. That's what they do. They carry out the laws, and then the judicial branch is what interprets the laws. Again, I don't expect a first grader to know that, but I would hope that if you are the sheriff of a community, that you would know that, and you would not say that sheriffs don't wear robes. I mean, what's wrong with him? I mean, he said that. He just said that just so confidently. Judicial. He said up there with his.
I think he was guessing. That was 1 out of 3 that he could guess, and he just guessed wrong. And unfortunately, he was clueless.
That's my point. I mean, but here's my thing right here. You would think that as a criminal justice professional, most people now in law enforcement they have at least a master's degree, man. Most of the time, the ones that are leading an organization that size, they have master's degrees. At least an associate. I mean, you would know that guy. Let me back up. If you had a high school diploma, you would know that.
Yeah, that is a basic.
Yeah, when you're running for sheriff, sometimes it's a popularity contest. He built his claim to fame when he was a Charlotte PD homicide. He had the homicide show. That was his claim to fame.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Well, look at guys.
And how
hold
long
on a
has he been
sec.
sheriff?
Let me go to a break, and we're going to come right back inside of the Friday morning show with Jay and DL. Again, just look, we saw this. You could pull it up for yourself too, but it was just, man, I was embarrassed for him. I really was. Sitting up there all sharp, with that big uniform on with all them stars and everything else on him. And, you know, he looked okay on the outside, but inside of his head, I just don't know. Anyway, we'll be back for more.
Not too good.
President Donald Trump and Melania Trump, the First Lady, will visit North Carolina today. They will be at Fort Bragg. In-person early voting for North Carolina's 2026 primary elections has begun. Another partial government shutdown appears to be imminent, with the White House and Senate Democrats at odds over funding for ICE and the Department of Homeland Security. More cases of measles are being reported in the state. Doctors are urging everyone to get vaccinated if you have not. Actor James Van Der Beek, best known for the role as Dawson Leary on the hit 1990s television show Dawson's Creek, has died. The show was filmed primarily in Wilmington. NASA launches 4 astronauts to the International Space Station to carry out the latest research expedition at the orbiting laboratory. And the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie continues. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monicelli, WIDU Radio News. At about 7:45 p.m. on February 11th, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office deputies went out to 4023 Sunnyside School Road in Fayetteville on a commercial burglar alarm. When deputies got there, they observed the front door window pane was shattered. Deputies saw video footage and discovered that an unknown suspect broke the window, then threw a Molotov cocktail inside the business. The suspect appears to be a black male wearing a black on gray hooded jacket and gray pants with a black strip running down the seam. If you know anything about him, contact the Sheriff's Office at 910-677-5499. Fire Chief Kevin Dove is proud to announce that the Commission on Professional Credentialing has just awarded Assistant Chief Patrick McArdle with the professional designation of Chief Fire Officer. Following an extensive peer review process, that designation recognizes demonstrated excellence in 7 measured components. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monicelli.
Good Friday morning. We start your day with mostly clear skies and cold temperatures in the upper 20s and low 30s across the region. We'll have lots of sunshine by this afternoon. Highs will remain cool but seasonable, reaching the low to mid 50s. Then we'll have clear skies overnight and into Saturday morning. Temperatures won't be quite as cold, but still chilly in the low to mid 30s. Then we'll see building cloud cover throughout the day on Saturday. Highs will be warmer, reaching the low 60s. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the Weather Center.
If you are on Medicare, scammers may target you to steal your identity. Remember, Medicare will never call you asking for personal details. The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medicare Patrol Program is here to protect you from fraud and provides you with knowledge to stay safe. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
For North Carolina high school seniors, the countdown to college is on. And at CFNC, we've got all the resources and information needed to get you on campus next year. Take College Application Week, for example. Did you know you can apply for free at many North Carolina colleges from October 20th through October 26th? Sure can. Don't miss the opportunity to save some money applying to college. And for more help, visit cfnc.org/C2C.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
If you are on Medicare, scammers may target you to steal your identity. Remember, Medicare will never call you asking for personal details. The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medicare Patrol Program is here to protect you from fraud and provides you with knowledge to stay safe. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Cumberland County Solid Waste is expanding recycling options with a new foam and film recycling program. Residents can now recycle items like styrofoam cups and packaging, along with plastic bags and wraps. Just bring clean, dry items, free of labels, to the Ann Street landfill at 698 Ann Street in Fayetteville. Recycle your foam and film and help keep Cumberland County clean. For more information, call 910-321-6920 or visit cumberlandcountync.gov. It's that time of year. Cooler temperatures are settling in, and staying comfortable at home becomes a priority. When it is colder outside, heating systems often must work harder to keep you and your family cozy inside. When energy use goes up, monthly utility bills can go up too. That's why PwC is here to help with a few simple steps that can make a real difference. A programmable thermostat is a smart place to start. It allows you to reduce energy use when you're away or sleeping, helping you stay comfortable while managing costs. Also, weathering your home can also improve efficiency. Sealing windows and doors helps keep cold air outside and prevents energy from being wasted. Visit faypwc.com for more tips, programs, and resources to help you manage your energy use, control costs, and stay comfortable all winter long. PwC, we are more than your hometown utility.
I'm Tony Stewart, and I don't just talk about service, I live it. I've served on the Board of Commissioners, and today I serve as Regional 6 Director of the Department of Social Services Institute, supporting families and strengthening our community. I was also appointed by former Governor Roy Cooper to the North Carolina Health Coordinating Committee, bringing our voices to the state level. I stand for smart growth, livable wages, strong schools, and safer neighborhoods. Vote for me, and you get proven leadership that works for people, not politics. Remember Tony Stewart. Together, let's move Cumberland County forward. Paid for by the committee to elect Tony Stewart for County Commissioner at Large.
And 22 minutes before the top of the hour, back again, the morning show with Jay and DL. So, guys, you know, the early vote started yesterday, and there's some really interesting races running. One is going to be the head of the Senate. You know, that's an internal vote that they take for the North Carolina Senate. But he has competition from Richmond County. What about that? You know, that's been a pretty interesting race, as you might call it.
I have only been following, I'm just going to be honest, I've just been following Cumberland County.
Okay.
So I've been following those races because I'm interviewing folks, and it's been very interesting. We have a couple of House seats open, and I know the judges, I think it's seat 3 and seat 5, if I can remember, and I think some interesting races there. And then, of course, the county commissioners. We got some slots there, but I'm not familiar with the tell us about that race.
Well, the only reason I bring it up is because this is a fight for the leadership of the Senate. You know, and the Senate has been a little different from the House. You know, even the House, the rift now is between two sets of Republicans. That's why we don't have a budget. You know.
Yeah.
The House wants one thing and the Senate wants another. I just find it interesting. You know,
and I believe we're the only state in the country without a budget. 49 states have a budget. North Carolina does not. You can Google that.
Yeah, and you know, matter of fact, it's happened before too. But again, you know, it's not that we're in any kind of risk. We're operating under the old budget, so it's not like the federal government. You have a shutdown or anything like that. However, I agree. It's interesting, and I think that it's unnecessary for this kind of thing to be going on. However, it's so big that the president has chimed in and is endorsing the incumbent. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of interesting for the president to get involved in state politics like that.
It is. So tell me who the incumbent is. I got to just get my head around this.
I'll let DL chime in. That's one of DL's favorite people.
Oh, it is. Go on, DL.
Well, Phil Berger, only thing I say about Phil Berger is that he doesn't respond to a lot of nonsense. He understands he is the straw that stirs the drink in Raleigh, and he controls the gavel. And unlike this new Speaker of the House, who I think he likes to grandstand, just don't really care for the new Speaker. I particularly don't care for what they did with the maps, but that's another story. All I'll say about the state GOP in Raleigh, I look at how their policy has been detrimental. I'm not saying they have been detrimental. Have they been detrimental to me or folks, poor folks, over the last 10 years versus, I would say, go back to 2000. From 2000 to 2010, I look to see, have these policies had an adverse effect over folks? And I can say no. I didn't agree with them all. The issue, guys, has been the new redistricting in a nonsensical year. So I'll have to, that's it. So,
well, can I just say one thing?
Sure.
Both Democrats and Republicans, one of the things that seems to keep coming up is teacher pay. And we are hemorrhaging teachers in North Carolina. My daughter is a teacher, and I bring it up because, Cumberland County did something really good this year. They actually provided teachers with a supplement, and they did very well, the teachers in Cumberland County. I can't speak for the teachers in Durham and Raleigh and in Mecklenburg, but I got to tell you, they're losing teachers because they're not getting paid a commensurate salary like other systems. I think we're 43 or 44 in the country. That's not a good place to be when education should be a priority. And when teachers are leaving North Carolina to go to other states, that sends a really serious message. And so I like that, each side blames the other. They need to come together and come up with something. They have plenty of money. They can do something to incentivize the teachers. It's just very frustrating because this is year after year we hear them going back and forth. So I just had to throw that out there. They're not doing a good job on the teacher pay.
Sure. Well,
and that should be a priority.
But I would say this, look, under the budget we're operating under now, the new budget, the $33 billion budget that hasn't been passed, I don't know where education ranks in that. But education, when I'm talking about college through K, 58% of that budget is going to education. So, I mean, how much money do we need to give to education, bro? I mean, look,
well,
I believe inside of education.
I hear you, but we're losing teachers.
I know, I got you, but I talk to teachers too. Money is not, money has never been the reason why anybody went into education. But these youngsters are out of control in a lot of places. When you walk in and you got real little small kids cussing you out. You in primary school and you may have a little child go off on you, and teaching is very difficult regardless of the pay. Now, I know pay matters, but people go into education not for money, but because of what they love what they do. I think
that is true. You don't go in to become wealthy, but you do want to go into a job where it's a livable wage, and you're not working two jobs like my daughter. You're not buying your own supplies like a lot of other teachers. I mean, I hear you. You're not going in there to become rich, but you got to be able to make at least a decent living where you're not working two jobs. And a lot of these teachers my daughter talks to all the time, they're working two jobs.
Well,
there's something wrong with the system.
Going
I'll
all
leave
the way
it at
back
that because I think there are two sides.
I'm saying, but going all the way back to when I was in high school, I knew that teachers worked two jobs. I mean, now I'm not saying that it makes it right, but I'm saying is that that's been, but it's the education in the Western Hemisphere. This country, we don't really value educators the way they do in other places, from what I understand. Based on what I've read, if you go to Germany, one of those places, they pay the educator. If that educator is training an engineer, they're paying their educator like, hey, look, you're trained an engineer, so we're going to pay you like an engineer. But here we don't do that. So now here it is, look, as I said, it don't make sense. Now, we'll pay an athlete, even a college athlete, making millions of dollars with the NIL.
Millions of dollars.
And then you pay your teacher less than $50,000. It don't make sense.
That's right. That's right.
Now
it doesn't. It doesn't. I hear your point is well made.
Troy, Jay, we're going to talk about teacher salary. Let me go back to the Charlotte police chief. You know, I'm going to give her some pushback. I don't want the state paying for every – if she said law enforcement, are you talking about deputy sheriffs? No. But I don't want the state having that burden cost because guess what? If you do law enforcement and you retire in 85% from the state and 85% of your time as a law enforcement officer, guess what you get? You automatically get a pension. You get paid every 2 weeks a small portion of your salary on top of your state retirement. You get a pension, and you get it every 2 weeks until you turn 62 when you can draw partial. Guess what? Teachers don't get that. Only law enforcement officers get that. You know, just don't give. State don't entertain that. You need to direct that money towards teachers. They ain't doing up the crashing cars anyway, but they need to direct that money towards teachers.
Well,
Thank you, DL.
But this is a challenge I have, and I don't know how you guys may feel about this. Look, I think that these organizations are just too top-heavy. I mean, I don't understand. You got all these positions. You got a superintendent, and then it branches off into all of these associate superintendents, and they make a lot of money. Yep. And the average one of them is making 3 or 4 times more money than the person in the classroom. It doesn't make sense to me. Now, when I was coming along, you didn't have all this top heavy stuff. I mean, I don't know. I can't say that it's right or wrong.
They're all making over $200,000.
It don't look right, man. I'm just saying, someone make $300,000.
They're all making over $200,000.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying, but it doesn't look right to me. I mean, how can an executive be making that kind of money, and the boots on the ground person in the classroom with the student directly in front of the student, not be sharing inside of that revenue stream? I have a problem with that.
Well, that's why they talk about private sector. The CEOs of these private sector firms are making 40 and 50 and 60 times.
Exactly.
What the employees make, which is outrageous.
I'm going to play devil advocate a little bit. Now, when it comes to school, I look at Cumberland County. Now, Cumberland County, they have to do some reorganizing. They have to close some schools down. That's going to help them out a little bit. And also, not just Cumberland County, across North Carolina, folks are enrolling their kids homeschool, private school. So now somebody that's on the opposite side of this issue will come in and say the reason why we can't pay teachers nothing because they're diverting money to private schools, Troy, vouchers. So I'll let you chime in on that because that's part of the argument, Troy.
Yeah, but the only thing about it is that the vouchers are only taking up 2.6% of the budget. You look that up, Google it.
Okay.
2.6% of the budget. So my thing is that if something can destroy your system and take less than 5% of your budget, Jay, something's wrong with that picture.
No, I would agree. Something's wrong with it. And if it is 2.6%, thank you for that information. That's not such a big deal, but there's still it all comes back to you got to pay people a commensurate wage, whether it's the people repairing the potholes in local government or the teachers or mid-level managers. People need to be paid, and you don't get in the business, as we said earlier, to become wealthy, but you want a livable wage where you can have a decent life.
Yeah, well,
that to me is,
the station is and partnering now with, that's about WIDU, was partnering with Bill Hefner School. And so I've been there this season more. I've been in the school more than I have in decades now. And I'm looking at them. Look, these teachers are just phenomenal, man, what they do. And these youngsters just love them to death. Now, that's a K through 5 school. So, they're getting these youngsters ready to go to middle school and all the other stuff. But once they get to middle school and the high school, it's a different kind of youngster. You know what I mean? They ain't hugging on you like that and all this other stuff. It's a different. It's a difference.
Oh, yeah. Sure, I know because when I did substitute teaching in Gaston County last year. I told them, don't call me for middle school or high school because they start flapping those gums. Don't do it. Love K through 5. The kids are impressionable, and you talk about being hugged a lot of them just want to be hugged and affection. I thought
that's
of
right.
Yeah. I'm not messing with middle school or high school. You can have it.
That's what I'm talking about. But
I
man,
did not know you were teaching. Did not know you were substitute teaching. Good for you, DL. Good for you.
No, that was last year.
That's great.
But guys, look, it's been an eye opener for me. You know, Dr. Z Backman out there, and they had this the middle of the year awards program. And these kids come across and they get the little, get the high fives and they get the little certificates and all those other things. And they're just so excited. And the parents are there for them. Everything's just revved up. And I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, now, how do these kids turn out to be something else other than what I'm looking at right now? Something happens as they get older, man. I don't know.
It's a cute age.
I would say,
my daughter teaches kindergarten to 5, and it really, I've gone to some of the plays and the different activities they have, like a festival, and the kids are just great. I mean,
they love
it's
each
a lot
other.
of fun. I would agree.
I mean, they love each other and everything. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a volunteer, they have a thing in the county where you go online. You give your name, social security number, address, and all the other stuff, and they do a background check on you, which I think is what they should do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I'm just saying that, I'm looking at the state of innocence of these children, and we're just going to have to do a better job. I mean, I just, but now, Bill Hefner, the principal there, she has a way of she wants her educators to look a particular way too. So now when I walk into that school, I feel like I did when I was a kid. Everybody is dressed appropriately and stuff like that. Right. And, because I'll be honest with you, I go in some of these schools and I can't tell the teacher from the kid. You know what I mean? Not the way they dress, but.
What school is that? What school are you talking about, referring to that you've
Bill Hefner is
Bill
Hefner is actually on Fort Bragg. It's a neighborhood school.
Oh, okay, got it.
And it's in the Montebello community off of Cliffdale Road. But I'm telling you,
but it's not on main post. Make sure folks understand. You don't have to go through a gate. It's not on main post. It's on land donated that owned by Fort Bragg, but it's not.
That's what they suggested that they do for E. Smith. Is my point.
Yeah,
of course.
So
and
folks, but here's the thing about when you say folks will make an assumption that you have to go through the gate when it as it applies to Smith, and they would not have. And because you don't have to deal for Bill Hefner. Now, Troy, real quickly, go around the corner from Bill Hefner off Cliffdale, you have E. Miller. Those buildings kind of the same. They're built in the 80s. So I don't know where folks in Cumberland County, Fayetteville has been for the last four months. The board has been in the newspaper on WIDU about consolidation. Kirk's been on there probably every month talking about building and schools going to have to do some things. E. Miller's on the list of going from year-round to regular, and folks are upset. I'm like, if somebody, I read the comments, did they do a hearing on this? Did we have public speaking on this? I'm like, where y'all been? They're going to have to make some tough decisions at the board. Not everybody going to like it, because one woman said her son is autistic and this helps him out, and I'm like, bless her heart, but guess what? They can't make one decision based on your needs. They got to make it for the whole. So I'm like, folks, y'all should have been at school board meetings, public speaking months ago.
Good point.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I'm going to say it. I've had a bird's eye view to look at that particular school, not the school system, but that school, and it's just exciting to see what they're doing there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that they can walk on water, but they sure can skate on some very thin ice.
Yeah.
Good one.
Hey, one last thing, Troy. It's dealing with government again. A friend of mine, he's from Spring Lake, but he stays in Addison Creek, and I had to remind him, buddy, of how the city council manager form of government works. Because Spring Lake relieves their city manager their duties.
Town manager, right.
Listen, and the mayor did not want that done, and I had to tell my friend, listen, hey, your mayor's only one vote, buddy, contrary to what you see.
The mayor
doesn't vote.
It's only in case of a tie that you vote.
The mayor doesn't vote.
I actually talked to the mayor on the day after it happened, and quite honestly, I was in shock. My comments about this: listen, they can do what they want. The problem is they have hired a person with zero municipal government experience, and the local government commission is not going to think very highly of that because of all of the previous problems that Spring Lake has had. The mayor and the new council or the commissioners before really started turning the curve. They got a balanced budget. They started doing things the right way, and then you had some new council members or commissioners, I don't know what they're called again.
Commissioners now.
Made a decision, unbeknownst to the mayor. They went into closed session. They let the guy go, the manager go, which is their right. The problem, though, is you're disturbing the progress, and then you bring on someone with no experience. That, to me, is a red flag, and I guarantee you're going to be hearing more from the LGC about that decision. Just my two cents.
But Jay, I agree. Listen, what you say, I don't have no reason to dispute it. All I'm saying is how I had explained to him how the process works.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's how the process works.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's
absolutely.
Emphasize.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah, that acronym that you just used, Jay, would you tell our audience exactly what you mean by that acronym?
Yeah, LGC is the local government commission, and they oversee, if there's an issue, for instance, with spending, there's issues with the, budgetary issues, they're sort of the oversight committee for the state of North Carolina, and they will come in and, with audits and everything. I wish I could do a better job of explaining. My brain is not working that quickly, but LGC was very involved when they had the issue with embezzlement. They had the issue with the police a number of years ago. There have been a lot of financial issues, and LGC has been the ones that have overseen. Finally, they sort of let it go after everything looked good. They moved away, and now you might see them again if things move forward in the way that I don't think they should, but that's just my opinion.
Sure. And that's the concern. Spring Lake doesn't need that. Cumberland County doesn't need that. Now, for them to go back and when they were moving forward, and like I said, I don't know what the reason was for the people that voted the way they did, but, I don't know.
I don't know either. I think she was totally stunned. I don't want to speak for Mayor Anthony, but I don't think they were expecting that. You go into closed session, and sometimes things happen in a way that you're not expecting, and I don't think anyone expected that. So, it is what it is, and now they got to figure things out, and I just wish them the best because I really thought and I really believe Mayor Anthony had things on the right track. So.
I do too, but that's going to be interesting. Well, look, again,
it will be.
Voting will continue on this weekend, and we'll see what happens. Well, guys, Super Bowl is over, so I guess we got to go to the NBA now and college basketball. But look, I think Bernie Sanders is coming to Durham today, Jay.
He is, I believe. But listen, President Trump is coming to Cumberland County today.
I did not know that.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
He is. He's going to be yes, he is. Today, President Trump will be there and Bernie. I don't know who's going to be the bigger draw. I will see neither of them. But, he will be, I think, at Fort Bragg today.
Well, Bernie Sanders is not going to be a bigger draw than the president.
Well, you never know.
Nah.
I don't want to. It's all about crowd size with President Trump. I'd like to see the crowd sizes, and then we can talk about that.
If it's on Fort Bragg, it's going to be different, though. I mean, it's not open to the public, is it?
Okay, well, that's all right. We'll see. But I believe they just said it. It was just on the news that he is going to be at Bragg today. Yeah. I don't know the time, though.
Okay. Well, look, guys, got to get out of here. Appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we're going to get ready to close out this session right here. And hope you have a great rest of your day and weekend to all of you all. We have coming on at 10 o'clock, we have Heartbeat. And 11 o'clock, you're going to have MP3. So Great Talk Radio on Fridays on your station for inspiration and information, WIDU, 1600 AM, 99.7. Thank you, Jay, DL, audience. Thank you for being with us on today. Have a great day.